aka Kabiru Sokoto, 2 years later. A masked witness claims that an Algerian Islamist group provided funding and support worth 40 million naira, $250,000 at the time, to carry out the attacks. To the general public, it is unclear what the link is between Islamists in northern Nigeria and well-funded terror groups in North Africa. Emma Abami Kalo. To those in the know, however, the incidents of December 25, 2011 are not only expected, but are likely to intensify and become more regular. This is because while the Nigerian public up to this point has been fed with what amounts to a tiny percentage of the actual story behind the Boko Haram group, this group has in fact been incubating and nurtured at the highest level of the theological, economic, and political spaces in northern Nigeria. Boko Haram in reality is so much bigger than Muhammad, Yusuf, and Abubakar Shekau that reducing it to those two men serves to miss the actual story spectacularly. To start to get some of the picture of what Boko Haram is and where it came from, let us retreat from 2011 to 2006 to read an excerpt from a letter written by the permanent representatives, put it this way, permanent representative of Nigeria to the United Nations, Aminu B. Wali, addressed to the chairman of the Counter-Terrorism Committee. This letter is available in full from the official repository for United Nations documents, written by the Nigerian government to the United Nations. It lays out the measures it has taken to fight terrorism in Nigeria. Take special note of the names mentioned in bold below. This is the copy of a letter sent by Nigeria to United Nations Committee on Counter-Terrorism on their effort in combating terrorism in Nigeria. Now, I will read in parts. It said, court sitting in Abuja on Friday, March 3rd, 2006, granted an application stopping and freezing the financial and economic assets, including business properties and things within Nigeria belonging to or associated with Ahmed Idris, Nasreddin, Nasrate Nigeria Limited, and 3 other companies in that group. The assets were accordingly forfeited to the federal government of Nigeria in the interim. The Nigeria Department of State Services has also done considerable work in respect of tracking down terrorists and freezing and or seizing their assets. It has set up counter-terrorism centers in Lagos, Kano, Maiduguri, and Abuja to facilitate its surveillance. In 2005, the service arrested 6 local Taliban extremists returning from GSPC terrorist camp. The money in their possession was also seized. It had in 2002 failed attempt by GSPC to establish terrorist cells in Katsina and Kano in Nigeria. The leader of the network, Yakubu Musa Kafanshan, was arrested and prosecuted, and money and equipment found in their possession confiscated. Similarly, The activities of Aruno Saru or Sharu, another agent of GSPC, financing extremists and terrorist activities by laundering proceeds from smuggled goods, was detected and dismantled. Several properties, including technical equipment, were seized, and Mr. Sharu arrested and detained. Another attempt in 2003 by another Taliban group to set up camp in Yobe State was dismantled. Banking secrecy and confidentiality has been abolished in Nigeria by virtue of Section 12, subsection 4 of the Money Laundering Prohibition Act of Prohibition Act 2774. At the regional level, Nigeria has contributed greatly to organizations of Giaba, this, that. Now, the WikiLeaks cable from 2002 confirms that this arrest actually did take place, only for the suspects to be released inexplicably after 27 days in detention. This is the WikiLeaks cable on your screen. Now, for those who are not aware, Yakubu Musa Kafanshan, also known as Sheikh Yakubu Musa Katsina, and also known as Yakubu Musa Azan, is a founding member of the Izala movement, Jibwis, and is in fact the current chairman of his board of trustees and the chairman of the Katsina State Jibwis chapter. He is a widely respected Islamic cleric and a very close personal friend and public associate of, well, no price for guessing, Isa Ali Pandemic. Yes, Isa Pandemic, Nigeria Minister of Communication today. Are you following? Maybe not. Look at them here. If you don't know who is Sheikh Yakubu Musa Azan Katsina, shortly, yeah, that is him in that image. He is a highly respected Islamic scholar in northern Nigeria today. He is a spiritual leader for the Minister of Communication of Nigeria, Isa Pandemic today. This is the man arrested for trying to set up terrorist camp, Boko Haram camp in Yobe State. Boko Haram camp in Katsina State. Maybe you are not following yet. Let us continue. Mr. Kafanshan was even recently named as one of the 500 most influential Muslims in the world by the Royal Islamic Strategic Studies Center, a Jordanian government-affiliated NGO. More on that later. So the 500 most powerful Muslims. Yakubu Musa Kafanshan, or Musa Katsina, is a popular preacher in Nigeria. He is also the leader of the Izala revivalist sect in Katsina. The Izala, or Jamaatul Izalatil Bidiawa Ikamatu Sunnah, movement against negative innovations and for orthodoxy, is an activist Sufi brotherhood that calls for a return to the practices of the Prophet Muhammad and a true practice of Islam. Hailing from Katsina, that is where all of you who claim to be following your my fellow Islamic brother from northern Nigeria, we are brothers. You are not brothers, so you are Odeniye. These are the people that are killing people because they believe that many of you have corrupted Islam. You have brought in so many adulteration to Islam, and you will be killed. That is what Boko Haram represents. They said you have to be killed. You are Muslim, Abi. You are infidel. Tifnumbu is a Muslim, Abi, but he's an infidel. That is why they don't trust him. He cannot lead them. the only way they can trust, Tifnumbu is to give him another Kabiru Shokoto sponsor, shitman from Shokoto, from Borono, Kabiru Shokoto leader. They don't trust you. You are just a foolish person that is following religious manipulation. They don't see you as an Islamic person. No, trust me. But again, you don't have to believe me. Okay? Anyway, apparently, Mr. Kafanshan has been known to the Nigerian security forces as the leader of a terrorist network trying to set up terrorist cells in Katsina and Kano as far back as 2002. Keep that date in mind because it will become even more important as we unravel this further. According to official Nigerian government communication to the United Nations, this real-life Islamic terror organizer is known to have affiliations with a certain GSPC group trying to carry out terror attacks in Nigeria, and he was even arrested for it in 2002. 7 whole years before the world ever heard of a Boko Haram. 7 years before you even heard about Boko Haram at all. This man was already arrested. A terrorist who has affiliation link to other terror groups who are trying to set up terror camps in Nigeria. Ọlọ́run o, ẹ̀yin alálẹ̀ o. Tó bá jẹ́ pé lóòótọ́ lẹ́yìn alálẹ̀ ilẹ̀ Yorùbá lẹ máa ń gbọ́ agbe àwọn ọmọ yín. Ṣé rí gbogbo àwọn olórí burúkú tó ti gbàbọ̀dé ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá torí ìjẹkújẹ yìí, torí wọ́n Nàìjíríà àti Tinubu yìí. Ìwọ̀rọ̀ ẹ̀yin alálẹ̀ èdè bá wà pa wọ́n rẹ́ báyìí ká má tiẹ̀ kọ́ parẹ́ láàrin wa báyìí Ọlọ́run. Àbí kí ni gbogbo eléyìí? Terrorist organization APC ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́. They have people who believe in them. And they work on lies. And they believe in their lies. Even when people are dying. Terrorists too. Now this man collect 400, is one of the who collect over 700 million to come and give you security. Ẹ̀yin alálẹ̀ o. Omi ara wọn, ẹ̀jẹ̀ ara wọn tó ti gbàbọ̀dé fúnlẹ̀ Yorùbá. Omi ara wọn, ẹ̀jẹ̀ ara wọn kó máa gbòdì fún wọn ni. Ní kúre o. Àmì ni ó ṣe, má rànjú mọ́ mi. Àmì ni kò ṣe o ní kúre. Wọ́n tó ń gbé APC ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́ kiri báyìí. Tẹ́ fi ń tàn wá ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá. Terrorists will now be the ones. They are the one terrorizing us. They will now be the one collecting your money to provide security for. Èpè ló máa pa yín o, tọmọtọmọ o. Because kò rí balẹ̀ Yorùbá o. Ó folómi ẹ̀fọ́ ń ṣe o. Ó folómi ẹ̀kọ́ ń ṣe. Tìrán máa ṣòfò ni o. Àtẹ̀yìn àti Tinubu yín o. Àmì ni ẹ ṣe o, má rànjú mọ́ mi o. Àmì ni kò ṣe o. This terrorist on your screen, Nigeria knows about him. He's a friend of Boko Haram. So yet, in 2021, he is not only a free man, but a powerful free man with access to federal ministers, state governors, and president or president Muhammadu Boko Haram himself. Look at them there. They are doing prayer. Ṣé ẹ rí wọn? Ṣé ẹ rí àwọn terrorists o? Àwọn apààyàn o? You see them? Àwọn ló ń ṣe prayer yẹn o. Ìpìlẹ̀ máa gbà lẹ́nu wa lójoojúmọ́. Ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú tẹ wá tọ́nara tẹ́ pa ọmọ Yorùbá lọ́mọ àlè torí wọn tẹ̀lé Tinubu. Ní kúre o. Ò ní kúre. Even bí mi ò ṣe pè fún yín gan. Èpè lẹ́ ń ṣẹ́ fúnra yín pẹ̀lú APC. Kò sẹ́ lè kúre náà. You know if you die well. You know why? APC no mean well for you. Jaba jati ní kú. Rédèrèdè báyìí òun ní kú alábòsí. Lè kúre o. Àmì ni ẹ ṣe o, má rànjú mọ́ mi o. Confirm èpè tẹ́ ń ṣẹ́ fúnra yín ni. And then there is the GSPC angle. GSPC stands for Group Salafiste Pola Predication Hele Combat. I don't know if I pronounce that, but don't worry about me, okay? GSPC from Algeria stand for Groupe Salafiste pour la Prédication et le Combat. Salafist group for preaching and combat. It's all about jihadists. It's all about bati, combat. Wikilo deshogun la jeni. Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam died thousands of years ago, and you are here, killing people, cutting off their head, kidnapping women, children, raping them, and then you said you are marrying them off only for you to come back with children and these raped victims that you kidnapped, and Nigeria is welcoming them. Repentant terrorists. It's all about fight for what? Shogun la yeni. A full primer on the origin of the group and what it stands for is available here according to this link. Cliff Notes Summary. A Cliff Note of, Cliff Notes of Summary, or so to say, Cliff Notes Summary, rather. It is an illegal Salafi terrorist organization based in Algeria, which is affiliated with Al-Qaeda and the Taliban. It don't make sense now. Al-Qaeda, Taliban, Al-Qaeda People's Congress, Akpanyo People's Congress. Taliban. Good. And it is the same Taliban that collected $5 million from you, from Boko. Remember that? When Taliban, when they took over Afghanistan, did you know that Boko ferried $5 million to them in support? Did you know that? You don't. Don't pretend you do. Anyway, it is a terrorist organization loyal to Taliban in Afghanistan. It specializes in providing training, funding, and support to Islamists and jihadi fighters around the world using a vast global network of smugglers, money launderers, and rat lines. Which brings us to the second name in the above letter, except Alhaji Sharu Haruna, in the Nigerian government's own words, is a GSPC agent who funds the activities of people like Kabiru Shokoto by laundering proceeds from smuggled goods. He too was arrested and held on terror financing charges. Somehow, he too is not only a free man today, but a powerful one in his own right too. It will not surprise the reader to find out that Alhaji Haruna is also a ranking member of the Izala movement, according to this post. David dug up from Facebook accounts linked to the Kano State Izala chapter. Alhaji Haruna is the deputy president of the Kano State chapter of Jibwis, Yakubu Kafanshan. This indicted terror funder not only retains his position in Nigeria's most influential Muslim body, but is also a respected Islamic preacher with access to the who is who of northern politics and governance. Right? This is them, Jibwis. Even more interestingly, when David do some digging into Mr. Haruna, it discovered something potentially even more alarming. It will be recalled that in September 2021, Central Bank Governor Godwin Emefiole claimed that a significant portion of dollars bought by Bureau de Change, BDC operators in Nigeria, goes into illegal importation of arms. Speaking at the end of the monthly monetary policy committee meeting, Emefiole said, whether it's Boko Haram, kidnapping, and all sorts of nefarious activities, Bureau de Change take our country's dollar and sell to people to go and buy arms and ammunitions to come and hurt us. That's what people want us to continue to do. We cannot do that any longer. We can't. If you have any legal, legitimate business you want to conduct, please take your business to a bank. They will sell you Forex. I mean, a search of Nigeria's Corporate Affairs Commission database for the name Sharu Haruna turns up a plethora of companies registered under the Dan Dima name. Now, Dan Dima Bureau de Change Limited, Abuja, Dandima Global Investment Limited, Kano. Dandima Agricultural Development Limited, Abuja. Dandima Petroleum Limited, Abuja. Dandima Enterprises, Abuja. Dandima General Services, Abuja. All these phony companies set up by terrorists are all opened to what? To launder money from Nigeria to terrorists that will eventually get weapons to kill you in Nigeria. Lẹ́ẹ̀kan sí, Ọlọ́run ò ní fire fún yín o, ẹ̀yin APC ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́. If you are a Yoruba member of APC, ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́ wò mí dáadáa ò ní kúre o. Torí pé normal, every of your step kò rore lórílẹ̀ Yorùbá ò ní kúre. Shami? A man identified by the Nigerian government itself as a security threat for funding terror via money laundering was somehow allowed to own and operate a BDC, Bureau de Change, which according to the central bank governor could well have been doing precisely that. A central bank of Nigeria circular from October 2020 confirms that at least as recently as last year, Haruna Sharu was allowed to run a BDC in Nigeria, potentially giving him access to the very funding infrastructure that he should not have under any circumstances. You see, then get businesses opened like that. And Nigeria money can enter them anytime they want under any disguise. A glance at one of the other Dandima business entities shows that even the email address used to register this entity, purportedly a petroleum company, terrorists itself get petroleum company. Are you now wondering why oil bunkering increased in Niger Delta? Are you wondering why Nigeria, that was losing over 50,000 barrels of crude oil every day in 2015, are now losing more than 800,000 barrels of crude oil every day? Are you wondering? Now terrorists, they run them for you. You be mumu, you they call other people mumu. Some of you don't know that now the terrorists, they run Nigeria for you. Now them, they run the whole thing for you. Just wait for it. A glance at another one, there's a business that shows that even the email address used to register this entity, purportedly a petroleum company, albeit one with zero identifiable corporate footprints, belongs to Dandima BDC, which says everything about how important the BDC is to Haruna Sharu. The question left unanswered is why? Baba, Dandima Petroleum. What you finishing? Along. In case you are wondering if this picture can get any worse, the answer is yes, it can and it will. Take note of the name circled in red below. See registered address, Abuja Sada, right? Zaradin Sharu Haruna. So who is Zaradin Sharu Haruna? Zaradin Sharu Haruna is Sharu Haruna's son. So it is no surprise for him to show up as a director on his father's BDC registration documents. There is just one problem. Remember Emefiole saying that BDCs facilitate terror financing? Well, just a month before he made that comment, a circular was sent out to banks by the central bank with the names of 18 companies and individuals whose bank accounts were to be frozen with a PND, that is a post-no debit mandate. Very unusually, no reason was given for the instruction, and also unusually, on a list made up of corporate accounts, there was an account belonging to an individual. His name, hang on. Here, Zaradin Haruna Sharu. of illegal foreign exchange trading, funding terrorism. Now, the story takes us back again a little bit. Conflicts for jihad, back to Eritrea. We now rejoin our Eritrean friend in the year 2006. The Nigeria Financial Intelligence Unit, NFIU, has recently been gazetted, and one of the first things its counterterrorism unit does is to freeze all assets linked to NASCO Group Nigeria Limited. Apparently, Mr. Nasruddin has been doing some creative accounting to hide the fact that he is moving money around the world to fund Islamist terror organizations. Or at least, that was what the Nigerian government itself wrote to the United Nations in the same letter. A WikiLeaks cable from 2002 hints at American hesitancy on the subject of freezing NASCO's Nigerian assets due to the economic implications for Plateau State and political implications in Nigeria. This is that WikiLeaks on your screen. You can screenshot it. It's a bit explained in the next paragraph. The real proof of Nasruddin's double life, however, comes from the U.S. Treasury Department, which publishes a comprehensive account of how he launders and moves money around the world for terrorist entities. Want to hear the real kicker? Nasruddin has been funding and laundering money for none other than GSPC, the Algerian terrorist group, which Yakubu Kassina and Sharu Haruna are also involved with at the exact same time. Check that on your screen. From the Nigerian government to the Nigerian government security reports sent to United Nations Bidiso. That's the copy on your screen though. Now, the Nigerian jihad being trained in Algerian camps in 2002 will later return to Nigeria and make up the core of what will later become known as Boko Haram. And what a coincidence. NASCO is also based in Jos, which so happens to be the headquarters of the Izala movement and its many North African alliances. Using money made from selling market-leading FMCGs to Nigerian consumers, a cross-border network of terrorism is being nurtured that will someday kill the very kids eating NASCO conflicts every morning. And it's all thanks to this nice gentleman from Eritrea, Ahmed Idris Nasruddin. So, here you go. Nasruddin, however, is a very rich man. Like all very rich men, he appears to have a way around problems that would ground other people. In 2005, Lisa Myers and Haram Rosten of the NBC News Investigative Unit discover that despite his designation as a terror financier in the US, Nasruddin's Nigerian business empire and his Italian hotel are still operating as normal. Quoted in the story, Victor Comras, a former terror finance expert at the State Department, says, in quote, "This isn't a loophole. This is a failure to implement the sanctions appropriately. He's been involved in terrorist financing. Let's put him out of business." In 2005. That would prove easier than done. Easier said than done, because just 2 years later, in 2007, the LA Times publishes a story indicating that To all intents and purposes, Nasruddin has cut some kind of a deal with the US government, likely involving asset forfeitures to get his name off the list of terror financiers. He has been indicted for funding terror, some of which has found its way into the lives of the Nigerian consumers who have made him fabulously wealthy, but he is off the hook. That's the report. For the people who have died in the Madala Christmas Day bombings facilitated by the people he funded and supported, there will be no justice. Nasruddin gets a hand over NASCO. Nasruddin gets to hand over NASCO to his son, and he lives out the rest of his life in peace and comfort, dying at the ripe old age of 96. So many of you that are praying, God will deal with them. God, you see, wicked people live old. In fact, so many of them die peacefully. Now you, the zombies, the unboot slaves, the obedient fools, the sophisticated morons, you. Now you, they die miserably. So if God is actually acting in this case, now they die painful death mostly. Wicked people, they actually live peacefully to the old age before they die. When they die, they continue to be celebrated by you, the victims of their terrorism. So God is not dealing with anybody as you would probably want him to do it. No. They live old. Terrorists, when he blow himself up, they live old enough to perpetuate that terrorism until they are stopped. Most of the time, that's why when you see terror funders, you destroy them, you destroy every source of funding they have, and you get them off the streets completely for life. Not in Nigeria, they are celebrated. So David continued. I mean, he mentioned earlier, as he said, I mentioned earlier that the death of Yakubu Kassina's initial attempts to establish terror cells and Taliban training camps in Kano and Kassina was important. Here is why. Remember Abubakar Gumi's stated position that Muslims should never accept a non-Muslim as ruler? It just so happens that the concerted push for Sharia law across 12 of northern Nigeria states lines up perfectly with the election of Olusegun Obasanjo as president in 1999. Examining the eras of Shehu Shagari, Muhammadu Buhari, Ibrahim Babangida, Sani Abacha, Abdulsalami Abubakar as consecutive Muslim Nigerian heads of state, it is near impossible to establish the existence of directed or coordinated push for Islamic law in that area. Following Obasanjo's entry, however, Zamfara, Kano, Sokoto, Katsina, Bauchi, Borno, Jigawa, Kebbi, Yobe, Kaduna, Niger, and Gombe decided in quick succession to embrace a separate penal code from southern Nigeria based on Sharia law. They did it when they had a southern president, a Christian president. That was the time they always pushed for whatever they wanted, because when they have their people there, they don't need to really push. They just do it. Understanding the political resonance of the Zala movement in northern Nigeria and the power wielded by the indicted terror financiers and terrorists who still sit on his board is key to understanding two things about terrorism in Nigeria. Are you listening? Boko Haram is a logical development growing out of the rise of political Islam in Nigeria, with its roots in Salafism, popularized by Abubakar Gumi and his ideological heirs. It is impossible to divorce Abubakar Gumi's use of Saudi money and Wahhabi indoctrination in the 70s from the adoption of Sharia law in northern Nigeria. The rise of violent Salafists like Abubakar Shekau and Isa Pandemic, Isa Pantami, Isa Patantami, whichever one is easier for you. The man you have on your screen right now, a Salafist terrorist, is the Minister of Communication of Nigeria as we speak. Have you not been wondering, why is it so difficult after you registered your BVN? After you registered this, you did this one, you did that, registered your SIM card. The terrorists that are kidnapping you, collecting ransom from you, they are using your own phone to speak to your family members, your relatives, the victims, the family of the victims, who are bringing ransom payment to them. Yet, Nigerian security agents, police and the rest of them, they can't really track them. But you say something about Boko, say something that they don't like about Tifnumbu, their DSS will track you down within hours. So do you know why? Because the person in charge of your communication, monitoring your chat, your text, your social media action and all that, the people taking all your details is a Salafist terrorist, Isa Pandemic, Isa Patantami. Listen to this, oh. And then the eventual inevitable mass uprising against the Nigerian state that will take place in the north. You want to listen to Isa Pandemic? Make I show you who is Isa Pandemic. Listen to this.
Haka mu a fahimtar muna roƙon Allah ya kai mu ran da hatta kuɗin da ke aljihu mu za su cire hoto a jiki. Don taswiri kwata-kwata ba ma buƙatar sa duniya sai dai a darura. Amma hatta wannan ba ka da ƙaulin malami ɗaya a duniya da ya ce halal ne. Sai dai kawai darura. To Allah ya fitar da mu a cikin wannan. Mu kai matakin da kuɗi ma mun fi ƙarfin taswiri. Ba ma buƙatar taswiri a jiki. A addinin mu taswiri ko hoton sahabi ne ai ba addini bane ajiyewa. Suraka hatta wannan Allah ya kai mu da wannan Gregorian date kalandar arna da ke jikin kuɗi Allah ya ce wa ma qataluhu wa ma salabuhu walakin shubbiha lahum na an kashe Isa alayhi salam duk wannan ba mu bukatar sa kuma in Allah ba mu dama duk za a gusar da shi insha Allah ta'ala.
Inshallah ta'ala, one day they are going to change that calendar you are using. All of you using January 1st, 2022. September, my birthday is September 15. Oh, Benny, you are going to start using Hijra, Umrah, and all this calendar in Islam because it's a pandemic and co. They didn't have to shoot a gun. They've taken over Nigeria. Whatever they can do with Nigeria, now your body go tell. Now your body. That's what they told me. They said, Mayegun, don't worry. Body go tell everybody. As it be now, everybody they pretend that they're mad. They don't understand what is going on as it is. The second part, while the Boko Haram is an unattractive one, the goals of Boko Haram are by no means unattractive to those who make up the ideological core of the Izala movement, which is Nigeria's most influential Islamic sect. Aminu Daurawa, who famously praised the September 11 attacks on a 2001 sermon with a quote claiming that Allah is a suicide bomber, would later become the inaugural chair of Kano's Isba police. They said he is not, the way is mad. They said, no, he's no longer the chairman. That report is wrong. But was he? Or was he never part of you? Terrorists who said Allah is a suicide bomber, who sang a song about it when it was time for them to recruit police for Hisba, Islamic police in Kano. It was their commander. Anyway, with sympathizers and collaborators up to and including Boko Haram himself, the Izala sect has no incentive or reason to fundamentally rethink or change its ideology, which is directly and provably linked to Salafist terrorism. Listen again to Isa Pandemic. What are the ideas of Isa Pandemic, your Nigeria Minister of Communication? Listen to this, another one. Pandemic.
Manya-manyan tankunan yaƙi, jiragen sama, ana ƙoƙarin ajiye su akan boda, ana bukata a zo a yi dominating ƙasar, su yi imposing wanda suke so akan mulki. dan daman strategy ne na duk kasar kafirai tafi karfi a duniya ya zama duk wata kasa sun dora wani wanda suke so akan mulki. Shi yasa muke ta addu'a Allah ya gaggawa gusar da musta 00. Allah ya kawo mana musulmi na kware mai jin tsoron Allah. Kun gane wa ake nufi ko mai bakin jabo? Manya-manyan tankunan yaƙi, jiragen sama ana ƙoƙarin ajiye su akan boda, ana bukata a zo a yi dominating ƙasar, su yi imposing wanda suke so akan mulki. Don daman strategy ne na duk ƙasar kafirai tafi karfi a duniya ya zama duk wata ƙasa sun ɗora wani wanda suke so akan mulki. Shi yasa muke ta addu'a Allah ya gaggawa gusar da musta 00. Allah ya kawo mana musulmi na kware mai jin tsoron Allah. Kun gane wa ake nufi ko mai bakin jaba? Na'am.
That is the Nigeria's Minister of Communication. And terrorists to take over. Olori Bruku àwọn ọmọ APC yẹn. They won't come they do emotional blackmail. Mi fẹ́ sọ pé mọ́tò ló máa pa yín o, but tó bá yẹ pé mọ́tò náà ló máa pa yín ni kí mọ́tò pa yín ni o. Kí ilé ayé ní peace o. Honestly speaking. Terrorists to take over. That is the message. And you have no idea if you have well, let's continue. As long as it's a pandemic, Mr. 00, a reference to an ideological pure Muslim with zero tolerance for bid'ah, that is, a hardline Salafist, retain his obvious and unapologetic sympathy for an organization with clear and ongoing links to the enemy he claims to be fighting against as Nigeria's president. The Izala movement has no incentive to reinvent itself. There is no way that the Nigeria president is not aware of Yakubu Musa Azan Kassina's history as a known terrorist, as well as the Izala movement extremely problematic history and current composition, and yet, as recently as 2018, President Boko was pictured in As Old Rock, meeting with the Izala movement president Ibrahim Bala Lau. Shay, it makes sense now. Bala Lau, that's the guy that collected the company that collected over 400 million first part, another over 300 million second batch, over 700 million to provide security for all of you that are going to be boarding Kaduna Abuja Railway, the one that the terrorist Boko Haram kidnapped many of you. How many months ago? 5 months ago. The people who kidnap you are now coming to give you security. Are you mad, Leo? Are you mad, Nikao? So you see them here, them be friend of Boko Haram. You see the terrorists are in, they are there. You can scream today to tomorrow. See them, they decide when they want them, when they go, where they will activate those that will kill us, those that will kidnap us, and those that will take all our organs and what have you. They decide that all the time, and they have the resources to do that as well. They are with Boko Haram. See the face of Boko Haram in there. Hey? Preaching one Nigeria, one Nigeria, one Nigeria. Is one Nigeria for terrorists to come and lord over us? Religious fanatics? One Nigeria, one Nigeria. A Christian can never lead the Muslims. Now war, if they bring Abi, break it up to save life. We cannot do all this Sule, Kamilu, Kabiru, and all this one way the Yoruba land. We can handle them. Leave them for us. I've said that many times. But with the way Nigeria is going, you go soon see Kabiru way be saying you go to see Shakara they do before. Baba go just open and say Allahu Akbar, Boga. You'll be wondering, which time all these people suicide bombers take over Yoruba land? That is their end goal. And today, they are pushing us to that side. Especially all you Olori Brukus calling people names because they won't follow you anymore. Because they know that APC, they carry them, they go where they don't know. You will only jekuje. You lonely lebi yayi. Ema continue like penny or moto lo mapanyo as in itobati moto makpada no because see amo. It is either I have well, this is David now. Let's continue. David said, it is either I have more access to information about his friends, that's Boko Haram, an associate, than the Nigerian president does, with a plethora of intelligence and information gathering agencies at his disposal, or he knows all this already and he has chosen a side. Clearly, to the Izala movement, this picture taken in 2018 was a statement. Yes, we have taken over. Yala ya anybody. Shele mad in, shele stupid in. Yala ya anybody. We dey here. Now so rock be this. Now we dey run am. You see your family member dey kidnappers den today. If any of your family member is among the people being kept by the Boko Haram on Kaduna Abuja Expressway, now those who do am be this. Now them be this. All of them, 5 of them. You see them? Now we do am. Now we dey run am. Now them they run am for you. Can't go around and brag about the thing we go well. Anyway, clearly, to the Izala movement, the picture was a statement, and they did make that statement. An Obasanjo government may have arrested Yakubu Katsina and his likes in 2002, but 16 years later, Katsina's ideological ally is in office, standing solidly next to him, as he stood solidly next to Issa pandemic. The Izala movement has won, and everybody else has lost. Sadly. The only other angle of high-level involvement not yet addressed is that of the Jordanian government. Recall that Yakubu Katsina was named among the world's 500 most influential Muslims by a Jordanian state-backed NGO. Do you remember? Well, it turns out that the NGO in question, the Royal Islamic Strategic Studies Center, is itself affiliated with the Royal Al-Bayt Institute for Islamic Thought. A visit to the institute's website reveals something strange. One of his publications titled Report on the Inter-Religious Tension and Crisis in Nigeria, published in May 2012, has the following to say about ending violence between Muslims and Christians in Nigeria. Listen up. Economic part of their plan to end Muslim Christians killings in Nigeria. Rampant neglect and mismanagement in various economic sectors, even at the highest level of government. The vast disparity between wealth, education, healthcare, and employment levels in the Muslim North versus the Christian South. Tension arising from Akwa Ibom, Rivers, Bayelsa, and Delta State wanting bigger shares of oil and gas production, leading to disparity in the quantum of funds allocated to the states in the oil-producing areas versus the states in the north, where no northern state produce any oil or gas. And there is an over-reliance on federal allocation derived from oil revenue because of negligible internal revenue generation in states. They were lamenting the underdevelopment of a number of natural resources and sectors, e.g., agriculture, mining, due to the focus since independence on Nigeria's oil wealth, poverty, unemployment and underemployment, land disputes, and lack of a clearly demarcated grazing grounds for the nomadic Fulani cattle herders, lack of assistance on the part of government to victims of violence housed in refugee camps to enable them to re-establish normal life. They said these were the reasons causing Muslim-Christian fights in Nigeria. Lies. They declared jihadi on all of us. They said we are infidel. We won't give up our land for their cows. And our way of serving God is completely wrong. If we don't change, they should cut off our head. Everything else now, excuses. There's no farmers others clashes. Now jihadists they kill us since 2012. Anyway, this report produced by a state-funded NGO in Jordan as far back as 2012 is prima facie evidence of a coordinated international campaign of strategic disinformation for the purpose of framing the reality of terrorism in Nigeria in a way that is completely dishonest. That is why they are calling terrorists bandits. That is why they are calling them repentant bandits. Repentant terrorists are bandits in Nigeria. It is all intentional. Yes, intentional, dishonest, making reference. This, according to David, they said, making reference to alleged income disparity between Nigeria's Christian South and Muslim North. They are angry because of the Southern oil. They are angry because the Southern economy is so buoyant and booming. When they invested in recruiting their children, training them to become useful for their future jihadi war, the Southern Nigeria investing in education, infrastructure, as minimal as they were, they became envious of Southern Nigeria. And today, they have destroyed the economy of that Southern Nigeria using their Fulani armed terrorists. They said we'd not give them grazing routes. And we didn't consider their economic this or that. Today, our people have been killed. Our people have been chased out of their homes. They are living in refugee camps in Nigeria today because of this internationally coordinated and locally financed terrorist organizations from northern Nigeria that have killed many, many of us, killed our economy, destroyed jobs, brought underdevelopment down to Yoruba land, brought poverty down to Yoruba land. Today, we are paying hugely for this calamity that this Islamic North brought upon Nigeria. Ikú ló máa pa gbogbo àwọn olórí burúkú tó ń encourage APC ńlẹ̀ Yorùbá o. Ní kúre o. Tépè bá ń jà ẹ̀yin alálẹ̀. Mo ń pè yín báyìí o. Ọ̀kọ̀ọ̀kan lọ́mọ wọ́n ń yọ bí ìgbálẹ̀ APC o. Ẹ má sọnù tọmọtọmọ ni o. Èpè ni o. Èpè láyé yín gbà o. Ẹ ṣàmì ẹ má ranjú mọ́ mi o. Ẹ ṣàmì ni o. Just say amen. Tí o bá rò pé nǹkan tó da APC ń ṣe, if you know what APC is doing, they are for the benefit and the growth of us and the people. Now, only that time, waiting I said, now, no go happen, oh. I don't even know if it go happen, but I wish it happened. Am I just son tomo ni o? Èpè lẹ máa gbà o. Èpè lọ́rọ̀ yín gbà. No say you no care. Ẹni èpè ni yín, ṣe bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ní forí yín gbèpè. In Yoruba land, they said, now so olórí burúkú go sit down like this. They go dey mount èpè on him. He no go fit talk. Go sit down there, they say, well, no, kò ní dá fún wọn náà. Mọ́tò ló máa pa wọ́n náà. But you no go fit talk am out. Ní kúre o. Àwọn alálẹ̀ amú yín yọ dànù lẹ́yọ̀ kọ̀ọ̀kan ni. Àmì ní ẹ ṣe o. Àrànjú mọ́ mi o. Tó bá mọ̀ pé nǹkan tẹ́ ń ṣe, what you are doing is good for the people. That is when this whole thing. Just say àmì. Anyway, very tellingly, at a time when conversation about violence related to nomadic cattle herding were not yet present in Nigeria's political equation, a Jordanian organization with links to Yakubu Kassina, a known Nigerian terrorist, was already recommending grazing grounds as a solution for a problem that for the most part did not actually exist yet. Should make sense in saying the idea of grazing route too, the idea of a farmers others clashes, all those nonsense. This Jordanian terrorist organization, they have already started projecting them as far back as 2012. Today, if you see any Oluri Bruku from northern Nigeria today, they will be telling you, for peace to reign in Nigeria, let us give a grazing route to. For peace to reign in Nigeria, give them a cattle colony. For peace to reign in Nigeria, give them water resources so that you should learn how to live with your killers. And he said, every time, Arokon. In Yoruba land, there's something called Arokon. Now, deep thought. I will try my best this time around. Arokon. Ló fa ẹkún àsundà. When we think deeper and think and realize about the damages done by ẹ̀yin olórí burúkú APC ẹgbẹ́kẹ́gbẹ́. I swear to God o, èpè lọ̀rọ̀ yín gbà o, èpè ló máa pa yín. 9 years later, look at Benue torí Ọlọ́run. Kaduna, Southern Kaduna.
These are some of the bodies. You can see they've been loaded into
Southern Kaduna.
There's the second truck.
Look at Southern Kaduna. These are the victims of coordinated terrorism, the way they slaughtered and turned Southern Kaduna to graveyard.
The second truck.
Human beings, oh.
Third truck. Total of 35 caskets. There were actually 38 victims. 3 were buried on Monday because the bodies were not good enough to be.
Like everyday mental sum. See human being where then lead, people wait, God.
By their persecution, say it is boldly in the words of the Holy Scriptures. We shall separate from the love of Christ. We shall tribulation or distress or persecution or famine.
When you speak to APC, when you speak to them, they will tell you that now propaganda, you just don't like APC. It's because you hate APC. Should anybody even be liking you? Normal, if you say some of you are normal, should anybody be liking you? Now, this is the person who is now benefiting over 400 million naira to buy weapons to protect you and keep you safe from the terrorists that they brought upon you. Before they knock your door, look at this young lady, right? They kidnapped her on the Kaduna-Abuja rail, yeah? They kidnapped her. And the terrorists to this day, God knows how many of them have already, sexually assaulted her. Let's use that word, sexually assaulted her since March 28, to the point that maybe they are not even feeling like they want to let her go. They said if by the end of this week, today is Friday, by tomorrow, they are going to marry her off. Terrorists can come in, pick anyone. If your family have money, they can free you. If they don't have money, then they can just sell you off like a slave. In Nigeria, the same founder of those terrorists are the one who are sitting with your government. Do you need anybody to take you to the river to wash your head and see if something can open up? And then you can begin to reason like human beings that APC have no real intention. They like criminals, like thieves, like terrorists that they are. They came to steal, they came to destroy, and they came to kill. That's exactly what they have been doing. Don't try and manipulate anybody or blackmail anybody to taking your one Nigeria messages that some of you can't even really defend because you have no idea what they have done to you. We are saying that they should. Maybe those who are offering to help you, unify consumption to production, and then by Tifnumbu, I don't even know his own slogan yet. Okay, all of them, ask them, make them come explain how they want to get rid of all these people. You know this guy Turuji Bello, the one that they declared wanted in Sokoto, declared wanted in Katsina, only to be declared hero in Zamfara and in Niger because he helped the people, the government of Zamfara, Nigeria, to fight other terrorist groups. Today, do you know what they are doing with Turuji right now in Zamfara? They are packaging money for him to buy more weapons because according to them, it be like say the guy this time around, the devil inside him is using him to help them defeat other terrorists. Therefore, Turuji is now going to get amnesty for the third time collecting amnesty, cashing out big time. Now they will package money for the guy. That then makes sense. Okay? That all this terrorist organization in northern Nigeria, they need to up the terrorism now towards this year 2023 charade. If you have not been paying attention, now you should begin to. The money to to further fund terrorists, that will further unleash terror, that will make them to either postpone that your fraudulent election, or better still, never to hold it at all. In any way, they are perfecting that right before your eyes. What are they doing? They are doling out contracts now. Contracts. Cutting grass with 18 billion naira. Are you with me? Cutting grass with 18 billion. 400 million naira for somebody to help you monitor Kaduna Abuja Railway so that they don't go kidnap you. That's his own share. Abi? Baba? If it gets to yours, if they are able to tell you how they're going to do it, I will be the one of the first to share that with you, won't I? But at this point, with what we have just been told, the movement of these terrorists across Nigeria, it has now been even made further easier. Yes.
Today is 25th of August. Look at the way they are coming down from a truck that is bringing them from the north. There are still many. You are covered by tarpaulin. See them. See them. Now 50. See them.
Anisha Gbako, as they say in Yoruba, may we not be unfortunate too. That is our reality today. I'm going to stop there for now. Let me go for my tea break. And although our time is so gone, we didn't start early enough. So if you really want to be part of this, you can probably call in and say your own peace of mind if you want to. Okay. I'm going to open the line in a moment, and that will be when I get back. It's WhatsApp call only, so to say. So if you have been with me all night so far, you can also like the broadcast, subscribe if you haven't, share it if you haven't. If you have done all of that, yeah, you too can go for your own tea break. When I come back, I'll start taking few calls and I'll start listening to the add-ons. But for now, I will be back.
Financier.